It is our tradition here at the United Church of Santa Fe on this first Sunday of January, which is always the Sunday right before Epiphany, that we offer an Epiphany pageant, readers' theater. We celebrate Epiphany big time. Because even though Walmart and Walgreens and all the other wall stores have moved on to Halloween, we are still in Christmastide. Today is the 11th day of Christmas, and tomorrow is Epiphany. And tradition is that Epiphany was when the light went on. Epiphany comes from a Greek word, phos, which simply means light. And epiphanies are those times when we go, oh, wow, I never saw that before. Or, whoa, I never understood it that way. You know, in cartoons, that little light bulb that comes on. That's an epiphany. And according to Christian tradition, the very first epiphany was when the wise ones finally found their way to the right place. You know, those wise guys, they got lost on the way. They obviously did not ask for direction. And even when they got it from that star, they still got lost. And they ended up seeking a new king in the court of an old king named Herod. But I'm not getting ahead of myself and getting ahead of what you're going to engage in a few moments about this wonderful story before we take down all the Christmas decorations and put away the things, the lights for the next year. Let's take one more time of listening and engaging this story from a very different perspective than perhaps what you've known before. And to get us started, I invite us to join together in singing a Christmas carol that you'll find on page 126 of your hymnal, Angels from the Realms of Glory. And we'll remain seated but sing the first three stanzas together. 126, Angels from the Realms of Glory.
Sages, kings, that's all you people ever sing about.
As if human beings were the only beings involved in this birth.
Yeah, right. Excuse me, but who are you and what are you all doing here?
We are the storytellers.
And we're here to make sure that you get the story right this year.
Get it right? We've been telling this story for decades here at this church. We always get it right.
You would think.
But you always leave out some important parts and some important characters. That's right. Yes, you make sure to talk about Mary, Joseph, the shepherds, the kings.
Even the innkeeper.
Yeah.
But you always leave out the rest of the cast.
The rest of the cast, what are you talking about?
You forget the animals. And the wind, and the water.
And the dirt.
Animals, wind, water, dirt? What are you talking about?
Oh, we thought you'd never ask. Let us tell you the story from a new perspective. It is the season of Epiphany, you know.
New light and all that. But first, a song to set the stage. One of the songs that includes all the characters.
Parents and children, help me here.
That's your cue.
Star, birds, the moon, bark, trees. The story of Jesus' birth isn't just about people. It's about all of creation. All creatures played a part.
That's right. The donkey carried Mary to Bethlehem, and the ox gave up his feed box for Jesus' bed.
And the cats? They showed them the way to the stable.
Sounds to me like there's a story here.
There sure is.
On the coldest night of the year at a pub called the Elephant's Ear, Nick and Nat, the innkeeper's cats, were having a saucer of beer with 14 married gentlemen on the coldest night of the year. As the hour of 11 drew near, some poor stranger in rags did appear at the door of the inn, face weary and thin, to ask,
Is there any room here?
No.
But the owner just laughed and said,
My friend, it's the coldest night of the year. We've a sheik with 3 wives, and a moneylender, and a taxman, a soldier, and a harness mender, 3 balmy old coots in silver boots, 2 are stargazers, and the other's a seer. Oh no, we have no room here.
No room.
Out into the night, crystal clear, the stranger went, hiding a tear. But the trio three of the innkeeper's cats followed and saw standing near a donkey bearing a pale, sweet girl through the coldest night of the year.
All three of the innkeeper's cats took pity on them all, the woman, the man, and the donkey. The cats called out,
"Friends, be of good cheer,
for I know of a shelter that's near." And they led them out back to a tumble-down shack where the innkeeper's wife kept her steer. And the first cat said, "It's the warmest place in town on the coldest night of the year." And the second cat said,
It's the warmest place in town on the coldest night of the year.
So the cats led Mary and Joseph to the stable? I never knew.
So now you do. And other creatures came that night.
a dog to guard the door, and sheep that kept him warm.
And the birds sang him to sleep, and they sang to the shepherds too.
Whence comes this rush of wings afar, following straight the Noel star? Birds from the woods in wondrous flight, Bethlehem seek this holy night.
Hark! How each bird bears its part, singing God's praise from deep in their heart. Come join in the shout.
Come join in the shout.
Come join in the shout.
Noel, come on, Is that okay?
And you're right, the birds sang too. They sang Noel too.
So the birds sang too? I never knew.
now you do."
Birds, cats, dogs, sheep. That stable was getting crowded.
That table was getting very crowded.
Yeah. And that didn't even include the camels.
Camels?
Yeah, who do you think carried the kings?
Kings?
Kings.
Kings? Kings?
Not
That's your
boy-
cue, guys.
That's the kings.
Kings.
Yes.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kings.
Lots of kings.
Lots of kings.
Lots of kings.
Lots of wise guys. And camel bells.
Not born to the forest are they, not born to the plain, to the grass and the shadowed tree and the splashing of rain. Only the sand they know, and the cloudless sky, the mirage and the deep sunk well, and stars on high.
With the sound of the bells, they came with huge soft stride, kings riding upon their backs and servants at their side. Out of the east, brought on by a dream of a star, seeking the hills and the groves where the fixed towns are. Their masters got lost on the way. They forgot the star and went to the palace where King Herod held sway.
Oh, but those camels, they were wise. They saw through old Herod's gracious disguise. Their goal was no palace gate, no temple of old, no weapons of steel, no boxes of gold, but a child in a mother's lap in the cloudy, cold night.
The wind blew through the palm trees, dust swirled through the town, as all in their royal robes their masters knelt down at the feet of the babe in the manger, and then drifted away. All kinds of animals had a part to play in Jesus' birth, all creatures great and small.
And all the rest of creation too, all the elements, the fire that warmed them by night.
And the water that washed the baby and his diapers.
Even the wind and the dirt.
The dirt?
Well, the dust, to be precise.
The dust?
Trust us.
Oh, sing a carol and then we'll tell you the rest of the story.
Our hearts
everyone was overjoyed with Jesus' birth.
In fact, King Herod was downright ticked off. Remember the camels said the wise men got lost?
Well, instead of going to Bethlehem, they wound up in Jerusalem and the court of King Herod the Great.
And there those wise men did a very dumb thing.
They asked the old king where the new king was born.
Yes, it was, because there is no king but Herod.
Herod the Curious was furious. In his citadel on the hill, Herod the Great, so filled with hate, Herod the Hideous, perfidious, commanded his soldiers with an evil grin.
Then go to Bethlehem and find this new king. And the jackals cackled. That's such a false king, the evil King Herod, an offering would bring.
But down at the stable, a rooster kept vigil from dark until dawn. And when he saw King Herod's army, he raised an alarm. Awake and flee this Bethlehem town. King Herod is coming. He's not safe to be around.
So out to the desolation of the dawning desert waste fled Joseph and Mary, protecting their child even in haste. Herod vainglorious, Herod victorious. Closer and closer came the king and his men. They'd almost caught up with Joseph and kin. But then there rose a wind from the east that blew through the king's army and stirred up the sand. Old Herod couldn't see his soldiers or even his hands.
Well, like their ancestors before, when Moses and the people stood on the dry shore, Herod, like Pharaoh, was foiled in his plans. And God sent the wind to keep Joseph and Mary and their child safe from harm.
As the mean king went back to his palace, Joseph cradled Jesus in his arm. "Which way to Egypt, then?" Joseph asked the blue sky. Just as a flock of wild geese soaring high looked down with pity on the child far below, the birds made an arrow to show where to go. They called out, "This way, this way!" So across the broad desert, the family walked on until in Egypt they found a safe new home. And in that land, as happened before, all creation showed kindness and more. A cat kept him warm, and a dog kept him safe. Birds sang him to sleep, and a cow gave him milk. And the child dreamed in the night of a donkey that snored.
The stars lit the heavens, the rains blessed the earth, the wind sang through the trees, and the fire warmed the hearth.
All creatures, all elements have rejoiced at his birth, and they continue to bless all his days on this earth.
Just as Jesus needed all creatures, both great and small, so we need this world and its animals all.
Water and wind, fire and earth, all played a part in our Savior's birth. So let us care for this world as God cares for it too.
For Jesus,
For
loves
Jesus, this whole world,
And
and
we
love it too.